Good morning guys, and welcome back to another episode here at Barham Engines. So guys, I've just got back from the hospital. I'm not going to bore you with that on this channel. I'm going to probably leave that to the second channel, but let's get in the workshop and see what we've got going on today. Right, so you can see my Heath Robinson setup guys with the angle plate there. I'll just move that tin before you all tell me off. So this is the V6 block that I did put the liner in on Friday, and I'm just facing that one side of the block very, very lightly, obviously just to clean up where I've left the excess liner sticking out the top. And you can see that I've used the 90-degree angle plate to mount the opposing block face too, and that should give me, in theory, which it has exactly, the correct parallel height on the surface. So yeah, just giving it a very, very light lick over. You can see there guys where the tip's just touching, it's just cleaning. That's a 2 thou cut there, so hopefully we won't have to take any more off that, but yeah, whatever works guys, hey. So next thing today guys, wonder what that was there. Next thing today, I just want to get that Cosworth honed. Now there's been a little bit of a delay off for the pistons from Mar Motorsport, but they are arriving. I've just had an email confirming that they are being delivered today, so hopefully in the next hour or so. So the 1mm pistons we need for that block, so I'm going to get that finished honed, then I can clean it up and get that on the engine stand guys, and that is all ready to go. Right, so the other Cosworth block here, the one I'm putting the ductile iron liners in guys, got the liners, here they are. These are the ductile iron as opposed to the normal cast iron. Now, two reasons for putting these in. One is these bores, when the engine was stripped, are at 92.5mm, which is obviously right at the end of its life, and obviously that's using an aftermarket piston. So we want to go back to a standard bore, and also this block has been cut for the Cooper's rings, or the Wills rings, whatever they call them. So using those ductile iron liners, we can do away where we machine out for the flange at the top. We can do away with those grooves as opposed to just decking the block. So we keep its almost original height, do those away by machining with the flanges, then it takes the bore out back to standard, and we can just start again. And plus, being a ductile line, it's a tougher liner anyway. So that's what I'm doing at the moment with this one guys. This is the one that's been long studded, it's got the 6 long studs, but I've just got to do machining on the 2 for those extra Julian Godfrey studs. Right guys, I've bored the first bore on the Cosworth, and you can see there, this is for the top hat line. As you can see there, I've put the recess for the flange at the top there. So how do I do that? I don't know whether I've explained this to you before. Now what I do is I take my measurements here. So these measurements here are for the flanges, for the liners. So that was the bore originally. So we started off at 92.5, which is that in imperial. So I convert from metric to imperial. And this one here is the outside diameter of that liner. So that's what we're going from, and that's what we're going to. Now, first of all, what we need to do, we've got our setting piece here, which is in imperial, and this is for the tool. So this tool here, you've obviously got, the cutting tip one side, and then you've got the stop on the other. So you slacken that grub screw off there, and there's a spring inside there, so this sort of spring loaded in and out. Now what we do, we put this flat against the back there with the cutting end up against this piece here. Now the way this is set, obviously you can adjust this to where you want it, but what I do is I've got it set so whatever it reads on here, so 3.999, I've got that set. When you cut the bore with that set at that, it will leave 3 thou in, and the reason for that is so I know when I'm basically setting it for a specific piston size, it's going to leave about 3 thou in, well 3 thou exactly, for me to hone out. So that's the reason I've set it at that guys. The outside diameter of that flange is less than 3.999, so it's 3.996. So I know if I set the tool at that, it's going to be, that's over 3 thou, because I don't like to leave any interference with the flange diameter. So that in theory is going to be a nice slide fit. So what do I do first? First of all, we take this DTI. Now this is the DTI gauge I use specifically for the boring bar. So what we do is we place it on top, just on there, see, with the magnet on. Now the reason I do that is because that shaft runs through that body, and that is connected to the bottom there, which is obviously where the boring tool goes. Now what we do is we put the boring tool in the holder. This is obviously when it's set in, this is to do the flange, and we wind it down until it just starts to touch on the top of the surface, and then we know that that is 0. Then what we do, lower this, that DTI just touches on the top there. So you can see that gauge is set to 0. Now we know that 0 on there is exactly on the top of there. So then what we do is we measure the flange thickness. Now the flange thickness is 180 deep, which is about 4.5 millimeters deep. And this is where it gets confusing for you. Not for me, because I've done it so many times, but this is a metric gauge. So 4.5 mil, it's 1 millimeter is 1 revolution. So we know we need to go 4 turns round there. We can go just over, but we don't want to go any more than half. So what I normally do is sort of stop it, because it's a bit vague on here. If I stop it on about 4 mil, then we know it's going to run just over, probably 0.12 over. And then I do that, and then the last cut, I sort of go slightly over that, and we know then it's proper bottomed out there. And what that means is when we put that liner in, there's going to be probably 0.2, 0.3 of a millimetre protruding at the top of the block. Okay, so it is a little bit vague, this, on the height, but it doesn't matter, because we want something protruding, just so we can, when we face it, it faces flush. We don't want it sitting below. Now I've done this one, and you can see, because I set the tool at 3.999, in theory this should sort of go in there, and you can see it does. You press that in there, you can turn it, so that is a size fit, which is perfect. And if I put my finger down there, if I measured the height of that, you'd probably find that's about 0.3 high, which is about 12 thou, which is absolutely perfect, guys. It means that we've got over 4 millimeters of that flange sitting in the block, which is absolutely perfect. So that's how I do the cutouts for the flanges, guys. I'm sorry if it's a little bit sort of vague and you're scratching your heads because you don't know what I'm on about, but it's as good an explanation I can do. I'm sorry about that. Well, guys, it is now Tuesday. This is all getting a little bit confusing. So for all you guys that watched our video yesterday, so obviously on the Monday, you will notice if you go and try and watch that video again, it is no longer there, and that is because I was made to take it down. Looks like the YouTube police have won on that one, but on the plus side, I was contacted by the party that it was involving, or what it was about. So I have responded to them saying that they need to come in and speak to me. So hopefully it's a plus. Fingers crossed that they do come in. It's a plus that they have actually got in contact. It's strange, really, isn't it? How by sticking a YouTube video up of someone or whatever does make them get in touch with you. So hopefully something comes of that, guys, and it serves its purpose. Also, I'm hoping that it scares other people that owe me money under the same sort of circumstances that come in and pay me. That'd be great. Anyway, off that subject now, guys, otherwise I'll get this one tucked down. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to repost this as it's Tuesday, using a lot of the content that was in yesterday's video, if you haven't watched it already. As much as I like doing informative videos for you guys and all this, at the end of the day, it is this YouTube channel, especially our main one here, this is it's predominantly a business channel. It's used for not just entertainment purposes. I know I've said that in the past, but it isn't purely for that. It is an informative channel for my viewers, so hopefully you guys can learn something. That is the fun bit for me. It is a great advertising tool. Obviously, most of our work comes from the viewers of the YouTube channel now, which is absolutely fantastic. And it also, like yesterday's video that had to be took down, it is used, unfortunately, some of you are not going to want to hear this, but it is used as a bit of a tool for us to just iron out issues that normal small businesses normally have, and it seems to be doing the job for me. Whether people think that's right or wrong, I don't really care, because like I say, it is a tool of my business now, whether it be for advertising, whether it be for sort of smoothing out the running of the place, whether it be for offloading my problems to you guys. It is a tool of the business, and if that tool works for whatever it's meant to work for, then ideal. Obviously we don't want to get into trouble, and we don't really want to upset people, but on the other hand, it is a business. We all know that, you know, there are no friends in business. We set out from the word go with all of our customers to obviously build up a decent relationship, do a decent job for our customers. But there are the odd occasions, as you all know by many of my warranty claim videos. I know a lot of you say that we get a lot of warranty videos. You know, we do a lot of warranty videos, we get a lot of warranties, but we don't in comparison to the amount of work we do. And if you actually watch them carefully, you will see that most of our warranty videos never turn out to be an issue of ours anyway. I'm not to say that we don't make mistakes and what have you. Of course we do, you know, we're only human, but we like to express everything on the YouTube channel and make sure you guys are getting an accurate sort of view on what's happening, and basically how businesses do run in the real world. You know, plenty of businesses will portray that nothing goes wrong for them, everything goes smoothly, they're wonderful, they're the best, all this, but in reality we all know that's not how it is. So yeah, it is a tool of the business, guys, and at the end of the day, ultimately, whatever relationship we build with a customer, whatever job we've done, however it goes, the idea is to get paid at the end of it, so we can keep the doors open, and all sort of get paid and live, and that's the end of it really. So whatever serves the purpose, guys. So yeah, unfortunately on the odd occasion like yesterday, you have to take a video down, but if something comes of whatever we did the video on, then that's a bonus. Like I said, a couple of £100 there, a couple of £100 there. Here it's if other people see that video and decide to come in and pay us, then that's wonderful. But we certainly don't set out to create animosity and create enemies, certainly not. But on the other hand, if you've got an issue and you think that you shouldn't be paying a bill because of a specific reason, then just come in or pick up the phone and have a chat about it. Don't just ignore us and then make some excuses as to why you shouldn't pay it. You know, just let's all just be amicable, get on, and let the world just go round as normal, guys. So there we go, guys. Until tomorrow's video, I'm sorry about the little bit of confusion there, but if you haven't watched it, hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Cheers, guys.